Welcome to The Secrets of Success. By following the proven techniques of the guests who appear on this series, you'll learn that even successful people run into detours and failures, and how you can apply their success techniques to change your life.
You're now listening to the most unique show on radio, the show dedicated to making you a success. Dr. Bryan Robinson says it's time to chill. Let's find out why. Dr. Robinson, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate your having me.
Now, the title of your book is #chill. Literally, that's the little hashtag and then the word chill. Can you explain that?
Well, the whole point of the book is to help people who are hurrying and rushing, which is probably most of us,
exactly.
Trying to get things done and feeling like we're overwhelmed and there's not enough time in the day and we're exhausted and we never seem to get relief. So #chill is about finding the place within yourself and the place outside yourself where that's possible. Now, a lot of people will say to me, you know, I don't have time for that. I'm too busy. I can't add anything else to the list. But this book is about, it's not about adding more work or more tasks. It's about paying attention to what's going on inside of you. You can be driving your car to work, and you can practice some of the what we call micro chillers. These are 3 to 5 minute little exercises that will put you in that chill state. And when you're there, here's what we know about the research, is you're going to be more productive, not less productive, more productive if you slow down, more effective, and the quality of what you're doing is going to be better. So it also has benefits to the mind and body.
On a personal note, and I'm not saying this just to enhance your book, but I've always found that when things get crazy, if I can just almost go in reverse and slow my own approach down, I will handle it better. Things will get done actually quicker rather than
Absolutely.
Being scattered. I'm going to lose things. I'm going to forget where I put them, whatever.
Absolutely.
Now, you mention and say that right mindfulness will open our eyes to endless opportunities. What do you mean by right mindfulness? I would think most of us would say, well, my mind is okay.
Well, what that really means is being present in the moment. Many of us who are rushing and hurrying are thinking ahead of the game. We're not in the present moment. We're in the shower thinking about what we have to do and how fast we need to get to work, or how we're going to get the kids, or how we're going to get the kids there. We're cooking dinner, trying to hurry and get it on the table instead of being present with the preparation. So it's really about instead of being in the future or the past, where many people are when they're hurrying and rushing, it's about taking 3 to 5 minutes a day and paying attention to what's going on in the moment. What happens is it slows down your heart rate, it improves your memory. We know that for a fact. We can see the MRIs with the neurology that there are people who meditate, for example, for 5 minutes a day, have better memory as they get older. The hippocampus, which is responsible for memory, does not shrink as much. We have more gray density matter. There are other things, but it boosts the immune system. So the mind and the body are in better shape whenever we take that time to chill. And it doesn't take a lot of time. Most people, if I suggest they meditate, throw their hands up and say, I don't have time for that, because they think they have to sit lotus position and play weird music and burn incense. None of those trappings are even important. What's important is you can do this in your car as long as you're not driving. You can do it at your house or even in your office. It's just sit for 5 minutes, go inside, and just without judgment, with curiosity and a dispassionate eye, just watch what's going on inside of you. It's amazing how relaxed you'll feel after 5 minutes.
And just to put that in perspective, you said 3 to 5 minutes a day. I noticed the last time I watched a 1 hour TV show, about 15 minutes of the show was commercials, maybe even more.
Right.
So you're not really asking too much of us to squeeze out an extra 3 to 5 minutes a day. So I think we should be able to find that time.
No, you know what? We have 40 minutes a day, every one of us. If we take 5, we still have 35 left. That's a lot of minutes. So it's not, you're right, it's not taking that much time. And the benefit certainly outweighs the if it is an inconvenience, because you start to enjoy it if you do it on a regular basis, and you start to notice you're not as reactive to people. That somebody cuts in front of you in traffic, you don't beat the steering wheel and throw your fist up at them. That you approach it with more calm, because you're basically teaching your brain on a neurological level, hey, I can be calm no matter what's happening around me. Over time, it takes some time, just like when I go to the gym, when I first started, I could not bench press my body weight. I can now, but it took me a while to get there, and I love it. And it's the same with any kind of meditation or chilling. It takes time, but after a short period of time, if you stay with it, it can change your life.
Now, do most of us live our life on autopilot, or just going kind of automatically without thinking or using our mind?
Right. We live our lives on autopilot, and we're thinking, but the kind of thinking, when we talk about chill, is a different way of being in our body. It's a different way of being in the world. But we're usually worrying or anxious about am I going to meet that deadline? What's my boss going to think? Are my kids going to be okay? Is my spouse going to be upset with me? So we tend to get stuck in what we call the thinking mind, which creates more anxiety and more stress. But when you are in a state of chill, you're able to offset that with more calm and more clarity about what's going on inside, and you're able to surmount obstacles that get in your way without reacting.
I like that. I think we all want calm in our lives, so I'm writing that in my notes, certainly.
Right.
Now, most of us, I think we would all say we work pretty hard, but are we addicted to work? Have we passed that just working hard now that we are actually addicted to it?
Some people are. I have been. I've been there, and I know what that's like. And some people don't understand it, but when you've been through it, you do. There was a time when I used my work the way my dad used his alcoholism. He would hide it, and, of course, he would binge with it. And I did the same thing with my work. When my family complained, I would hide it and sneak it around just like an alcoholic sneaking a drink. I would work every day, holidays, weekends, and sometimes pass out in my clothes from working so much, and then wake up in my clothes just like an alcoholic sleeping off a drunk. I would get high from it. I would go through withdrawal and depression. Now, here's the difference. I still work, but I work differently. Back then, when I was in the throes of that, I was driven. In other words, it was the things outside of me that were pushing me to act that way. I'm drawn. There's a difference in being drawn and driven. When you're drawn, you're coming from chill. You're coming from an inside place where you're in charge instead of your mind being in charge.
Dr. Robinson, at this point in the show, I'd like to remind our listeners that if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Dr. Bryan Robinson. He is the author of a book called #Chill, and you're listening to him speak on The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan. Dr. Robinson, if someone wants to know more about this, where can they get the book, and is there a website you want to tell us about?
Oh, absolutely. The book is it's trending on Barnes & Noble. They're doing a special promotion of it. It's on Amazon.com, and it's in bookstores everywhere. Folks can also check out my website at www.bryanrobinsonbooks.com, and Bryan is Bryan. And on my website, I have a test you can take. It's a very brief test. It's free. Everything on my website's free, and it will give you an electronic score. The test is called How Chill Are You? And it'll give you feedback. I also write a blog for Psychology Today, a monthly blog, and all the blogs are listed on the website, and they're free for you to read, and there are other things there. So the website's the best place to go. You can also email me, and there's a place on my website where it shows you how to get in touch with me if you want to.
Now, Dr. Robinson, we always tell our audience, we've been doing this show for 30 years, and if you want to be successful, and if you're a new listener or an old listener who just hasn't taken our advice, you have to take action. You have to get up and do something. It's great to listen to the good words of Dr. Robinson or other guests, but it's up to you. Go to that website. Pick up a copy of the book, #Chill. It's a relatively small book in terms of being able to handle it. It's convenient. My book, I like to underline things as I go through it. I mean, we have such great authors. We want to get all their information so we can go back and find it. But do yourself a favor. Get hold of #Chill. Go to the website. Take a look at what's there. What does Dr. Robinson say that can help your life and can move the ball ahead for you? If you just get one or two ideas from each of our guests, that's all it's going to take to get you on that trail to success. Dr. Robinson, you mentioned something called deep listening in your book. Now, most of us go the other way. Most authors are telling us what to say, what to do, give an elevator pitch, etc. What is deep listening?
Well, deep listening, Bill, would be like if you're telling me about a hard situation or a hardship or an obstacle, if I say back to you, oh, yeah, Bill, that happened to me one time. Let me tell you about my story. That's not deep listening because I'm in my own frame of reference. Deep listening is when I put myself in your place and I'm listening from your point of view and I'm having empathy for you. It's a deeper way of connecting with another person so that I start to feel, wow, Bill, wow, that's awful. That sucks. I know that's really tough. Instead of me taking it away from you and running with the football and making it about me. So deep listening is connecting with another person in an empathic way so you can really feel what that must be like for them.
Do most of us see our lives from the negative side? You know, we can have a good day, and the only thing we come home and say is, what do you think? My lunch was cold when I got it in the cafeteria, or someone took my parking spot, rather than all the good things. Maybe we made 5 sales, et cetera, et cetera. But do we tend to do that, or is that my imagination?
No, it's not your imagination at all. We can blame Mother Nature for that. What we know is that Mother Nature hardwired you, me, everybody listening to this broadcast to have what scientists call a negativity bias. And that's for survival. We have what's called a lizard brain or an old brain or a survival brain, so that those are the kind of threats we talk about. Somebody took my parking space. Somebody pulled in front of me today. Those are all threats we're talking about. That can be turned around. I call these U-turns in the book. You can make a U-turn and start asking yourself, what positive things happened to me today? It takes 3 positive thoughts to offset 1 negative thought, and that's the science. That's not my opinion. So if you get in the habit of asking yourself, okay, these things happened. These were negative things, but what were some of the positive things? It changes your whole way of looking at life. It changes your whole world. And here's the other thing. We have a word called shortcomings. Bill, if I were to ask you, tell me one of your tall comings, what comes up?
Oh, my shortcomings. Oh, well, I'm a terrible dancer. I can't sing.
But so you're telling me your shortcomings. That's what happens. If I want to know your tall comings.
Oh, my tall comings.
There's no such word. But what that means is to seek balance, we start thinking about what are my tall comings? What am I good at? I'm a good person. I'm sensitive. I'm generous. I'm creative. I'm smart. Everybody has tall comings, but we focus on the shortcomings. That's why we don't even have the word tall comings, because there's a negative slant to how we think about who we are. But that changes your outlook as well. When you start bringing balance to your perspective and put on what I call the wide-angle lens, you start to feel better inside, and you start to see the world differently.
Now, Dr. Robinson, I just want to repeat what you said because I think that's important for our audience and see if I got this right. We need 3 positive thoughts to overcome 1 negative thought. Did I get that correct?
That's correct.
So anybody out there, if you're always giving bad news to your children, to your spouse, to coworkers, or if you're the person who just talks about the traffic and the worst things that happen in life, they're going to have to get 3 things to overcome that, or they're going to avoid you, which is the way I do things usually.
You're right. You're right.
So we just stay away from that person because we're going to have to fill them up. And I think you used the term negativity bias, and basically, just to repeat that's basically seeing everything on the dark side. Is that right?
That's right. Now, some of this, to remind everybody who's listening, this is, we're hardwired for that. And it's Mother Nature's way of saying, okay, I've done my work. I want you to survive. I want you to perpetuate the species. So you are going to have a negative slant. So if you want to be happy, you're going to have to work at that, and that's where our work comes in. We can't, as you said before, just sit and do nothing. If I want to be happy, I have to work for it. I have to go beyond the survival thoughts and the survival level and start to think, what's positive in my life? Put on the wide-angle lens. Look at the big picture. Yeah, these obstacles are there, and everybody listening is struggling with something, everybody. So, yeah, I'm struggling with it, but what am I grateful for? And when you start looking at the big picture of all the things that you're grateful for, you start to feel better inside, and you start to look at life in a different way. It affects how you respond to other people. It affects your productivity. We have a phrase called the winning frame of mind, which I think fits well with what your show does. And every person that we know, like well-known people like Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Meryl Streep, they're all tops in their field. They didn't get there by just sitting back on their laurels. They have worked. They know how to focus. They know how, when that self-doubt comes in, they know how to stay in the chill state because they practiced it. That's why they're so good at what they do. Of course, they're talented and they have skills, but they also have a mindset. They know how to use their mind instead of letting their mind use them.
Dr. Robinson, I'm going to make friends with my producer right now because he's smiling at me and showing me it's time for a break. And to remind our listeners that you're listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll be right back after the break.
90.3 WHPC wants to make sure you haven't been putting your heart under too much pressure lately.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and your heart can quit whenever it wants.
But when it quits, you quit.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death.
Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure.
A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC reminds you that caring for an older loved one isn't easy.
Find support for your strength at the Caregiving Resource Center. Visit aarp.org/caregiving.
Brought to you by the AARP, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Secrets of Success. I'm your host, Bill Horan, and today we're speaking with Dr. Bryan Robinson, author of #Chill. Dr. Robinson, you ask an interesting question in the book. You say, if you died tomorrow, would you be content with life? What kind of answers do you get from people when you ask that question?
Well, most people would have a lot of regrets because the way we live our lives is not as if it's like there are guarantees about tomorrow, and there are no guarantees. So we're on autopilot, to use the word you mentioned earlier. But when you're on your deathbed, if you have the privilege of having a deathbed, you start to realize the big picture that I mentioned before, and to see who you didn't love. The child who scored a soccer goal, and you weren't there, or the spouse who wanted you to spend time and you didn't have time. We start to see the absences that were there in our lives, and we have regrets. But if you live your life so that you don't have regret, knowing there are no guarantees tomorrow, it helps you start to see the people close to you or the things that are undone that need to be done. Maybe ask for forgiveness from someone or spend time with someone who loves you. Whatever it is, if we think about that, without being morbid, it does help us get back in the present moment and look around us and appreciate the people and the things that we have.
Going through your book, #Chill, I noticed that you say that solutions tend to appear when we're doing other things. How does that fit into #Chill?
Repeat what you just said again.
You mentioned in your book, solutions tend to appear when we're doing other things. And I know that's definitely true with me. When I take my long walk in the morning, I come back and I say to my wife, wow, things that I couldn't solve yesterday all of a sudden are becoming so clear to me. Or after a shower. Why is that?
Yeah. It's because we're not in the thinking mind. And I know this is counterintuitive, but the creative ideas come to me when I'm in the shower or when I'm moving furniture or when I'm pulling weeds. But when if I sit down and I'm trying to do something, if I'm thinking too hard, if I'm overthinking it, or if I'm pressuring myself, it's going to backfire. It's going to prevent me from getting into that place. But when I'm in a chill state, a calm, relaxed, then there's another C word that comes with that. There are actually 8 C words, and creativity is one. So solutions to problems come sometimes when we're not fighting too hard. We're relaxing a little bit into it. It's kind of like, if you're in a, let's say, what do you call it when you're in a riptide is what I'm trying to think of.
Okay.
What you're supposed to do is relax and swim parallel to the shore, but what most people do is they fight, and that can kill you if you fight to swim to get out of it. So it's counterintuitive, but when you can just relax, sometimes solutions come to you. That's why it's important to get away from things when we're stressed and when we're overloaded, because it gives us more clarity. It's another one of those C words. So you've got calm, chill, clarity, confidence, courage, creativity. It helps you connect more with other people, and we call that connectedness.
That sounds like a good title for your next book, The C Word.
Yeah, I know.
I think
they're great words.
They
but
are.
They all come in a package. If I'm in chill, then that will help me have clarity with what's going on inside of me and help me make clear decisions about obstacles or hardships. And then the courage comes then, and one hits the other, and it's like a domino effect.
Bryan, a big word and term today we all hear is multitasking. Oh, I'm doing this while I'm eating my lunch, while I'm driving, and while I'm on the phone, I'm on the computer, and I'm sending out an email. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, and do we have to do anything to compensate for that?
Well, we're made to think that multitasking is going to make us better at what we do. But here again, it's the very opposite. There's been research at the University of Michigan and the University of South Carolina and several other, Stanford I think is another. They have shown conclusively that multitasking is not what it's cracked up to be. It makes us less effective. It drains our energy. It takes more time because you go from one thing, and if you're trying to do another, you're not fully present with each one. So it distributes your energy in a way that you're not as clear, and the outcome is not as effective and creative as it could be. What we know is doing one thing at a time is going to make you more productive and the quality of what you're doing better and more creative. It's counterintuitive, but it's true, and the research backs it up.
Bryan, I'd like to let our audience know that if you just tuned in, you're listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan, and our guest today is Dr. Bryan, and that's spelled Bryan Robinson. He's the author of the book #Chill, and he's going to tell us where we can get the book and the website we can find out more.
So the website is www.bryanrobinsonbooks.com, and that's Bryan. There's a test on the website you can take to find out how chill you are, and it will give you an electronic score. It's all free. You can also look at some of the blogs that I write for Psychology Today about the winning frame of mind, how to relax, how to deal better in a relationship. They're all different types of topics. And the book, you can purchase the book on the website, but you can also purchase it at Amazon.com, and Barnes & Noble has a special right now that you can get the book, and they're running a whole promotion for #Chill. By the way, the subtitle, Bill, of the book is Turn Off Your Job and Turn On Your Life. And I just want to say, job means not just the gainfully employed, the people who are overworking, but it also includes the student who's overdoing it. It includes the stay-at-home mom or dad who's overdoing it and not taking time for themselves. It can even be the retiree. What I'm finding is a lot of people today who are retiring are burning out because they can't relax. They don't know how because they've been burning the candle from both ends for so long. So the book's for anybody who would like to just learn to relax, take it easy, and balance out their work-life balance more.
Bryan, I want you to know I'm really enjoying this. In fact, I'm taking so many notes. My paper here looks like I'm back in school, and that was many years ago. But I also want our radio audience to know that if you've missed the first part of the show, or you'd like to hear it again, or you'd want someone else to listen to it, you can go to ncc nccradio.org. Look for The Secrets of Success. Look for podcasts and The Secrets of Success. And at your leisure, you can listen to this show anytime you wish. So if you did not get all of it, or you want your husband, your spouse, your sister, brother, child to hear it, please go to nccradio.org and you can get any of the parts you missed, and then go out and get #chill. Bryan, you bring up a great point in your book. You say we pay more attention to taking care of our car than our bodies. Is that really true, or is that just to have a little fun with us?
It's really true, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, you brought it up. I'm just repeating it.
Yeah, but I'm glad you reminded me, because it's a really important point, because it's true. We tend to be more externally focused, and we think, well, if I can just achieve this, if I can just get my car cleaned, and everything's going to be fine. But what we miss is what's going on the inside. So if you're driving your car 80 miles an hour trying to change tires at the same time, you're going to burn out. If you're just driving your car 80 miles an hour and you're not putting on the brakes, you're going to burn your motor out. So that's a metaphor for how a lot of us are living our lives. We're going, we're rushing, we're hurrying, we're multitasking. Our technology is leading us around by the nose. We're not in charge. We're not setting boundaries. We're not taking time out. And so more people are going to have diseases as a result of it, because the body will respond to it. And burnout and stress and irritation with the people around us, and breakups in their marriage, and it's going to get transferred to your kids. So there's all the reason in the world to slow down and take it easy, because when you chill, when you #chill, you're putting the brakes on. And we all need brakes, even if it's 5 minutes a day. I'm speaking BRAKES, like in a car. You're not going to drive your car without brakes. You know what would happen. So why would you allow your body to carry you around? Your body is a vehicle to carry you around and not put the brakes on, because that says, I love you and I appreciate you and thank you for taking care of me and getting me where I need to go. And it's going to make you feel better, and it's going to extend your life, and it's going to make you healthier as you go through life.
Do we all spend too much time trying to please others?
Well, a lot of people do. The people pleaser part of us. There's a quote by Winston Churchill that I love, and he said, an appeaser is someone who keeps feeding a crocodile hoping it will eat him last.
That's a good one. I love that.
Yeah, isn't that great? Because underneath people pleasing is fear. The fear that someone won't like us, or we won't be appreciated for what we do. So people who have a people-pleasing part is the way I think of it. And not everybody does, but a lot of people do. They're not really living from their center. They're not really living from their truth. And the first thing that is going to make all of us happy is to be true to ourselves.
I think that's a great way to wrap things up. And I want to tell you, this has been a fun show and amazingly informative. I want our audience to know we've been talking to Dr. Bryan Robinson. He's the author of the book, #Chill. And once again, Bryan, would you please tell us the website and where we can get the book?
Absolutely. The website, and by the way, on the website you can take a test that will show you how chill you are. It's free, and it's automatically scored. You get an electronic score, and it's www.bryanrobinsonbooks.com, and that's BRYAN. You can send me an email from that website if you want to talk to me, and I'll respond, or if you want to let me know what you think of the book. You can order the book on the website. You can also read some of the blogs from Psychology Today. I write one a month called The Right Mind. And you can also order the book from Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, and Amazon.com. It's in bookstores everywhere.
Thanks so much for being with us today. We'd like our audience to know that you've been listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.